The cyberspace is home to billions of people and is the right platform you need to grow your business. The Center for Innovation and Technology is offering you a golden opportunity to speak directly to your market at an affordable price. We also offer media training workshops, live streaming, documentary production, and events management. Get in touch with us today on the following numbers: +263 867 711 0290 or 0718 100 235. Don't forget to subscribe to our social media platforms. Like our Facebook page, Center for Innovation and Technology. Follow us on Twitter @SiteZW. And you can also check out our website www.site.org.zw. You can also visit our offices at 45 Moffat Avenue, Hillside, Bulawayo. Take advantage of this opportunity to expand your business.
A very good morning and welcome to Asakhe Online. I'm your host, Mbekezeli, Dino, Sibanda. Today we are going to be going through a preview into the Zimbabwe Premier Soccer League season that is going to be kickstarting in a couple of weeks. And I've entrusted one of Zimbabwe's finest sports analysts in Muziwethu Hadebe to take us through this season. Welcome, Mr. Hadebe.
Good to be here, and certainly hoping for what should be an exciting season ahead of us.
Thanks a lot for that one. Now, 2018 is done and dusted, and congratulations to FC Platinum, the current league holders. How did they win it? How did they get hold of the season, seeing that Ngezi Platinum was coming thick and faster behind them?
Yeah, I think they did well. Obviously, it wasn't easy for them to lift the league title. Ngezi had done well, especially in the first half of the season. I think what affected Ngezi mainly was their away performances, especially when they visited Bulawayo. That's where they dropped points, with the exception of where they managed to beat Highlanders. So it was very key for them to improve on their away performances, especially in the first half of the season. I also feel like the firing of their head coach, Ryan Diraya, towards the end of the season also contributed greatly to the team momentum being affected, and FC Platinum took advantage for their second consecutive league title.
And maintaining their stability up to the end. That's brilliant. And now, we have 4 teams that have been promoted this season, mainly Manika Diamonds. We have the returnees, Wange, formerly Wangi, and Tel One, and lastly, Mushowani Stars. How much of these teams do you know, and what are they bringing to us?
I think you are looking at Mushowani a bit unknown, but the fact that they did well in the northern region is quite a competitive Division 1 league. They are a promising team. When you look at Manika Diamonds, you are going back to the teams that are sponsored by corporates. We've seen a trend whereby teams that are sponsored by corporates are doing very well, maybe taking us back to the football of old, where you had the likes of Mangura Mine doing very well. Yes. We also had the likes of several chemicals coming up and doing very well. Remember, also we had a team like Butter Power, your butter store, that sells shoes. It also had a team that was in the Premier League. So you're looking at a situation whereby company-sponsored teams are doing very well. The same applies for Wange. There might be questions about the way business is done at the colliery at the moment in terms of the company. But they are a traditionally strong team, and if supported, they can always come and do very well. The same applies for Tel One. Tel One, you know, it's a stable company, and if they find a way of marketing one of their products and then match it with the team, we might see also Tel One going very far in terms of their football.
Indeed, there, because when Wange was here in the Premier League season some time back, they were once a bookie site to many big clubs indeed. Now, realizing that FC Platinum are the holding champions, defending champions of the Premier League season, I'm sure they are a team to beat. We wish to go through the foundations that have been made by the teams. Do you think the pre-season preparations have been well enough for the teams to say they are ready to tackle FC Platinum?
As most of the teams have done well. First of all, maybe let's look at the champions, FC Platinum. We all know where they are coming from. They've got 2 titles, consecutive titles. So they would want to match that feat which was achieved by Highlanders and Dynamos to win it 4 times in a row. And for them to do that, they need to pick the 2019 league title. So it's going to be important for them to try and do that. One of the things that they've done in terms of preparing for the new season, they've had the advantage of taking part in the CAF Champions League. That on its own is a rare advantage for FC Platinum coming into the season. Maybe explains also why they delayed in announcing their squad to the PSL. They were one of the teams that delayed in announcing their squad. And this mainly they did it deliberately so that when the season starts, they can have more additions into their team. They've got the financial power. They can open the checkbook anytime. Well, they call it the RTG these days. So they can just spend that FC Platinum for you.
Yes.
And Mbekezeli Platinum have also gone down to South Africa to prepare.
Brilliant.
That's good preparation. Chicken Inn traveled to Malawi to prepare. That's good preparation as well. Dynamos, they've been local, but we have seen a new sponsor, new partner coming into the system at Dynamos, and that's going to help them a lot. The other teams have kept their preparations a bit of a secret, but we have seen struggles as well in terms of Highlanders Football Club with the players going on strike. They've wasted at most 5 weeks of training, and that can affect them. So you're looking at the teams that did well last season, continuing that trend, especially given the way they have prepared.
Now, right there, you have just mentioned the Highlanders and the struggles that are going through right now, and also Dynamos. Maybe we can also include Cape United. These are the big names in Zimbabwean football. What do they have to offer?
Dynamos already coming from that pre-season charity match in which they beat Cape United by 2-0. They've mainly brought unknown players into their team, and to me that can be an advantage, avoiding a situation whereby you are recycling old known players. And with a new sponsor coming in, trend has shown that when Dynamos are in a stable environment, they can always do very well. You remember the league titles that they scooped when Callisto Passoa was the coach. It was mainly because of the financial stability which was there at the club. So even with ordinary players, it becomes easy to motivate them where there are issues of finances, and this might just work in favor of Dynamos. And then on the other hand, you want to look at Cape United. Yes. Cape United are in the same league as Highlanders in terms of still trying to secure sponsorship. We understand they managed to do that just in the past week, so they will have the sponsorship. But for Cape United, my problem is they've brought in most of those veterans, if I may put it that way, people who have been around in the system. So there is no fresh pair of legs in that setup. Highlanders have done well to try and mix the old players as well as some of the players from their post-90, their developmental side. But my fear is that strike that came into the system, it might just affect them. So from the big three that we are asking, maybe it might just be Timbare who might shine, but at the same time, don't rule out Cape United and Highlanders. They might still surprise us.
Yeah, right there. ECD last season was so dominant. Now, also Highlanders like Cape United, they've brought back Ngobezi Tamasugu, there's Ubukosi Sibanda and Prince Dube. What are we saying concerning this issue of recycling players within our league? Is there development? What's happening to academy of our clubs and trying to bring in new players?
It's interesting you raise that point, especially when you look at Prince Dube. One would say he's a player who was rushed to go into the South African Premier League. And this is where maybe our leaders in football need to monitor closely. What are we doing? What are we saying? Are we rushing our players to go into some of these leagues because of the interest of trying to get the rand and things like that? So those are some of the issues that we need to look at. And when you talk of development, it's good to see Highlanders having their Boso 90 team and they're continuously promoting these boys into the first team. It's going to be a gradual process. The only challenge is that they have the Boso 19, they had their juniors, but there was a time when they were not promoting these boys. They would have the junior system, but go on to look for players on the market. You need to look for the best if you've got a strong junior policy. And the Bulawayo has got the advantage of being the only city, maybe the only region in terms of the football regions that has got a junior league that is running throughout the year. And many people are not aware of that. And I think it is up to the people of Bulawayo to promote those junior leagues, to promote those boys and make it known that the boys are there, they are playing in the leagues. It's interesting, the leagues in Bulawayo are divided into two leagues, that is Serie A and Serie B. A has got what you would term your well-funded teams, the likes of Highlanders, Bantu Rovers. There is now Via and Academy, which is sponsored by Tulani, the former Highlanders defender. Then there is also Umguza, which is sponsored by Isaac Mbekezeli, who is based in Canada. So those are your established leagues. Then you've got also the lower ranks, the Serie B. That's where you get the Lobemula Rovers of this world playing by Lobemula West. That's when you get your Torontos playing in Promote. So that's fast talent, but the challenge is we are not supporting these. Even when the sponsors come, they tend to pump the money into the senior teams, but we should be pumping our monies into the junior football league and also ensure that we promote these boys.
Well expressed there. We really need to push when it comes to the junior policy. Now, moving on, I've classified the following teams under the unpredictable package in terms of the way they've come into the Zimbabwe Premier Soccer League. That's Mbekezeli, Chicken Inn, and the defending champions FC Platinum. What do they have to offer?
I think those are the company-sponsored teams that we spoke about. There is always that corporate aspect that comes into play. The companies would want to portray a particular image about their teams. They will always have certain standards that they want to maintain. They will always have audited financials. So that contributes as well to how the team is going to play. One, they've got the financial muscle.
Yes.
Two, they can pay their players well. You will not hear of a strike at Mbekezeli Platinum Stars. You will not hear of a strike at FC Platinum or Chicken Inn. But what is particularly interesting as well, if you look at Chicken Inn, I wouldn't say they pay as much as Mbekezeli and FC Platinum pay. From my own research, but it is the stability. At times it's important to pay what you can afford, and you don't have to be to go an extra mile and promise what you cannot do. So this is what Chicken Inn have done. They've come up with reasonable salaries that sustain the team, and they've also involved other companies that are linked to their brand, who come in and sponsor the team. That has helped them a lot in doing very well. So it won't be surprising if they also gun for the league title. And the FC Platinum, I think they will come in as the favorites. Mbekezeli will still have a good chance, but maybe questions will be asked about the technical team that sees former Highlanders coach Errol Akbe coming into the system. Will he have the charisma to push them for the league title? Then there is also Cosmas Tsano Zulu. He's the assistant. He has seen it around, and that will be interesting. Chicken Inn, there is Joy Antipas. He has already won the league title before at Chicken Inn. He has won the league title with motor action before. So he also brings in lots of experience. So they'll be going in them wanting to win the league title. My only disappointment maybe about Chicken Inn, they've signed 9-10 players. We hear now there is also a Malawi striker who is coming into the fray. So they can field 11 new players in the 2019 season. And this is a team for me that has got under 14, that has got under 16, that has got under 18. That also has a team that is playing in the Zifa Bulawayo Province Division 2. We are not promoting those boys.
And there is less development of local talent at the end of the day.
Now, what do you do now to your Division 2 boys? Most of them now, they are under 18s. We are always trying to move them away from the streets in the high-density suburb. And if you don't promote them, it means that you are blocking them from going forward. If then you say maybe they are not yet ready for the PSL, it means you need to revisit your development aspect. So that's where maybe they also need to look into. I would have loved to see more boys being promoted. That's my personal view.
And it's very much important for you to aid, because we really need to see a lot of homegrown players coming to the picture. There are tournaments that need us to field homegrown players. I think it's the AFCON. It's entitled Chan, if I'm not mistaken. At the end of the day, even as a nation, we end up not improving or dominating the tournaments because our very own homegrown players do not have the exposure and the experience to move with the level of football in Africa. Now, maybe moving on, the relegation battle. Last season, we realized that Nikrud and Bulawayo Chiefs managed to survive. From the teams that came this season that have been promoted and the teams that survived the relegation last season, what can you expect from them when it comes to the job?
It's going to be interesting. I think, like I said, Mshowani, we haven't really heard much about them. And I might put them as one of the relegation candidates, but they are there to prove me wrong. Yada lost their coach, Ruziwe. He moved to Black Rhinos. He had done a tremendous job to keep that team in the PSL. I've got a bit of doubts about them remaining in the league. I put them as one of the candidates to go. There is also Chapungu. They have not really been clear as to which road are they taking in terms of remaining in the league. Tel1 has come in. They are based in Guero. I see them taking over the Midlands from Chapungu. And disappointingly, I think what has been happening at Bulawayo Chiefs has left me questioning how they are going to remain in the PSL. Remember, they've just lost their coach, Tulani Sibanda. He doesn't hold CAF A. By the way, Zifa insists that our coaches should have CAF A, yet those courses have not been running locally. And I think he had that attachment with the players, Tulani Sibanda. And his departure, they lost quite a number of players as well. That is a Bulawayo Chief. So he was now starting afresh, and they had brought in lots of players from Division 1 and Division 2. He's one coach who really does that very well. And the new coach now is coming in, Joseph Sibindi. He has been in the PSL before. Last year he was with Cholocho in Division 1. He's coming in to introduce a sports science as well, an element of sports science, if I might put it that way, which Tulani was also introducing. We wait to see how it's going to happen, but in my view, I think it's going to be one of the teams as well. So I would say Chiefs, Yada, Mshowani, to some extent Chapungu, those are teams that will be fighting relegation.
The suspects of the job. Now, you just mentioned something that has to do with coaching licenses. Zifa sets the demands and the standards. What have clubs done to help their coaches to reach or to attain these certificates? Because one or the other, football is developing. What have we as a nation or clubs as individuals, what have they done to help their managers to get hold of these certificates and go through the trainings?
Unfortunately, when it comes to that, it seems it's actually individual investment that comes from the coaches. And I think you're raising a very pertinent point. It is upon the clubs to ensure that the teams get these courses and the coaches are updated. But where the challenge is, Zifa has said a PSL coach should have CAF A. CAF A is offered by CAF, and the CAF has suspended these courses. So we've not been having these courses in Zimbabwe. And most of the people who have been going for these courses have mainly been teachers who want to improve themselves. But they find it difficult to get into the PSL system to be coaches for those particular teams. So in my view, it was up to ZIFA to see what most of the coaches in the country have, and then have that rating as the one that will determine who sits on the bench to coach the teams. For example, in South Africa, they encourage the coaches to have CAF A, but it is not a must that you have CAF A for you to coach. So that also has contributed to a great extent to affecting our game. The same applies. You find the foreign coaches. Some, they come here.
Yes.
Is ZIFA scrutinizing their qualifications? You find that is not the case. We have had instances, without mentioning names, of coaches who are holding junior coaching certificates, being in charge of our teams, which is very unfair. So it's something that I think ZIFA needs to relook at and give the locals a chance, especially if at the moment they are not offering these courses.
Now, maybe sticking to ZIFA and the bigger picture of Zimbabwean football, what are your personal views? You have been in the game for quite a long time. Where do you see Zimbabwean football going from when we started up to the version that we are today? Are we growing, or there is a decent?
That's a question to answer. Unfortunately, we love our football.
Indeed.
And even if it's going down, we'll always be attached to it,
yes,
one way or the other. But I think our standards are going down. I think we are failing to brand our football. I think it's important that we revisit our developmental structures. I think we also need to empower our coaches in the form of the courses that you raised. Not just the coaches, but we also need to empower our referees. I think there is a gap there. We need to really give them more courses so that they can improve. But above all, in terms of our leadership, we need a leadership that will come into the system and try and rebrand our football. We need a football system that will know that this is how we want to play as Zimbabwe. We need to have proper structures. What is happening at the moment that most of the cities, most of the regions in the league don't have junior leagues. It's very unfortunate.
Yes.
We need junior leagues to be running, just like it's happening in Bulawayo. But when those junior leagues run, like I said earlier on, we need to promote these boys. So it's an most likely to need a workshop for people to look into and help our football to move forward. But to answer this in a nutshell, I would say we simply need to rebrand our football. We need to revisit our structures and look into the future. It's an exciting sport. Everyone loves football, and we can take it further.
Indeed, umdlalo wenguqu is very much followed here in Bulawayo and in Zimbabwe as a whole. It's the world's most beautiful game. Now, I would love you to cap it off. I would love you to cap it off with your top 4 prediction. And it's quite difficult because we have actually spoken of some teams that have done so well when it comes to the foundation in the preseason preparations. But I just have to throw it back at you. Just cap it off with your top 4.
Very difficult. I think it's going to be an interesting season. But judging by what we have seen in the past and going into the future, preparations, financial stability, I think there is a chance of FC Platinum going for a 3rd consecutive league title. There is also the chance of Ngezi disturbing them. They're fighting for a 2nd spot.
Yes.
But don't rule out Chicken Inn. They might just come in there in 3rd, although they have a good chance of also fighting for position 1. My only challenge with Chicken Inn is the too many players that they've brought into the system. And for the 4th position, it can be any of those 3 traditional giants. They always find themselves in them. That is Caps United, your Dynamos. I've got my doubts about Highlanders unless if they put their house in order. So I would say FC Platinum, Ngezi, Chicken Inn, and perhaps your Dynamos coming out.
Now, thanks a lot for that one, Mr. Hadebe. Maybe just to round it off to the fans, we know sometimes we get so agitated when we see officials going against us or going in our favor sometimes with the decisions they make. We are so tired of the violence. Sometimes we have got young people who wish to go and watch these games live, so that we have less broadcast. Any word for the fans in terms of their behavior and the discipline when viewing these games in the stadiums?
Yeah, first of all, I think they are the owners of the game. That's the most important thing. And I think as football, we need the fans to be at the stadium. Maybe just to take you to the FC Platinum Orlando Pirates match, we saw how the atmosphere was like at Barberfield Stadium. That's the sort of atmosphere that we also need on the local scene in terms of the local football. So there is need for the fans to go in their numbers. There is need also for the fans to behave. But for that to happen, I think it is also upon the clubs, it is upon the PSL, it is upon ZIFA to have education programs with the fans, also for the teams as well, to have a strong marketing of their teams as well as of their brands for the fans to come. So the teams need not to take it for granted that people love the sport. The numbers are going down if Highlanders, Dynamos and Caps United are not playing. It's much better in Zishawane when FC Platinum is playing at Mandaba.
Yes.
But we still need more fans, and it is upon the clubs and upon everyone really who is interested in football.
Yes.
That's why I'm saying we are urging all the fans to come in their thousands, especially on the opening day of the season.
Yeah, thanks a lot for that one. There you have it. Saturday, 30 March, the Premier League is going to be kickstarting. Be there to support your team. Be there to cheer behind the boys, saying that the season is near. Make sure I also get the vuvuzelas just to spearhead the games. Mr. Hadebe, thanks for joining us.
Many thanks. It was good to be here.
There you have it. Asakhe Online. Meet again next week. Thank you.
The cyberspace is home to billions of people and is the right platform you need to grow your business. The Center for Innovation and Technology is offering you a golden opportunity to speak directly to your market at an affordable price. We also offer media training workshops, live streaming, documentary production, and events management. Get in touch with us today on the following numbers: +263 867 711-0290 or 0718-100-235. Don't forget to subscribe to our social media platforms. Like our Facebook page, Center for Innovation and Technology. Follow us on Twitter @SiteZW. And you can also check out our website, www.site.org.zw. You can also visit our offices at 45 Moffat Avenue, Hillside, Bulawayo. Take advantage of this opportunity to expand your business.